Lightsaber, the most recognizable weapon in science fiction history, first ignited on screen in 1977's A New Hope. The lightsaber consists of a plasma blade emitted from a metal hilt, powered by a kyber crystal at its core. These kyber crystals are force-attuned, naturally occurring minerals found on planets like Elam, colorless until bonded with a force-sensitive individual. Once connected to a Jedi or Sith, the crystal turns blue, green, purple, or other colors, creating the weapon's distinctive blade. The lightsaber blade can reach temperatures up to 25,000 degrees Celsius, capable of cutting through nearly any material, while also deflecting blaster bolts and other lightsaber strikes. The vibration created by the kyber crystal helps Jedi center themselves and find balance in the Force, making each weapon deeply personal to its wielder. Red blades are created when Sith corrupt a kyber crystal through dark side manipulation in a process called bleeding. Different hilt designs and blade configurations expanded the possibilities, from Darth Maul's double-bladed variant to Kylo Ren's crossguard design with its unstable, crackling blade explained as stemming from a damaged crystal. George Lucas and the prop team created the original from camera flash handles, while sound designer Ben Burt crafted the distinctive humming by combining projector motor hum with television feedback. This weapon became iconic because it made combat personal and character-driven rather than purely functional. Unlike interchangeable sci-fi guns, each lightsaber represents its wielder's Force identity and philosophy, transforming a simple energy weapon into a symbol of belief, heritage, and personal journey that has influenced countless subsequent sci-fi weapons across nearly 50 years. Phaser. Star Trek's standard issue energy weapon represents the ultimate in versatile firepower. The name stands for PHASED energy rectification, referring to the energy conversion process that powers the weapon. Phasers fire beams of Nadian particles, fictional subatomic particles that disrupt atomic bonds through the rapid Nadian effect, using specialized crystals called Fushigi no Umi, Japanese for Sea of Wonder. Starfleet issues 3 types: the compact Type 1 hand phaser, the larger Type 2 pistol, and the Type 3 phaser rifle. Multiple power settings allow users to stun, heat, disrupt, vaporize targets, or cut through materials, with the iconic command set phasers to stun becoming cultural shorthand for measured response. Unlike lasers, Nadion beams spread energy throughout the target rather than focusing solely on the impact point, making them effective against various threat types. The weapon's appearance evolved significantly across the franchise, from the boxy Type 2 design in the original series to the sleeker models in later shows, with each iteration maintaining the core functionality while updating the aesthetic. The phaser became iconic by offering something no other sci-fi weapon provided: intelligent, adjustable force. Its non-lethal stun setting reflected Star Trek's optimistic vision where even weapons could be humane, establishing a template for smart energy weapons that influenced decades of science fiction. The versatility meant one weapon could handle any situation, making it the perfect tool for explorers who valued understanding over destruction. Pulse rifle. The Colonial Marines in 1986's Aliens carried what would become the gold standard for future military firearms. Director James Cameron personally designed the M41A pulse rifle, with British armorer Simon Atherton of Bapty & Company building the props from World War II-era M1A1 Thompson submachine guns. A cut-down Remington 870 shotgun mounted underneath served as the grenade launcher, while the heat shield and pump grip from a Franchi SPAS-12 shotgun added the futuristic appearance. The entire assembly was wrapped in a custom aluminum shell painted brown Bess, which appeared olive green under the blue set lights. Cameron originally planned to use a Heckler & Koch MP5, but switched to the Thompson because he wanted the larger muzzle flash produced by 45 ACP rounds. In the film's universe, the weapon fires 10mm by 24mm caseless armor-piercing explosive rounds from a 99-round magazine, typically loaded to 95 to prevent jamming. An LED ammo counter displays remaining rounds, a feature that became standard in countless video games. Only one fully functional hero prop was built with a working shotgun mechanism, with all others dismantled after filming except this survivor, which later appeared in Alien 3 in 1992. This weapon became iconic by proving future firearms didn't need to be sleek energy beams. Its gritty, mechanical, blue-collar aesthetic perfectly matched the working-class Marines and established that believable future weapons could look like natural evolutions of current technology. The visible, practical design influenced military science fiction more than any ray gun ever could. Proton Pack. The 1984 film Ghostbusters introduced a weapon designed not to destroy, but to capture. The Proton Pack functions as an unlicensed nuclear accelerator worn as a backpack, mounted on an Army-issue ALICE pack frame with adjustable straps. The main unit consists of a man-portable cyclotron that creates a charged particle beam composed of protons, described in the film as a positron collider, generating its proton stream through high-energy positron collisions. The connected neutrino wand, also called the particle thrower, fires a stream of highly focused, radially polarized protons that electrostatically trap the negatively charged energy of ghosts. This allows Ghostbusters to hold entities in the beam and position them above traps for capture. The power source rarely requires recharging, though it must be recharged in the sequel. The famous rule about not crossing the streams exists because intersecting proton beams create a massive, dangerous energy burst, though this becomes necessary when facing particularly powerful supernatural threats. The bulky, jury-rigged appearance suggested brilliant scientists working with limited resources rather than unlimited budgets. The Proton Pack became iconic by making containment more dramatically interesting than destruction. The visible, tangible energy stream transformed abstract ghost catching into a physical struggle, while the crossing streams rule created tension through restraint rather than unlimited power. It proved that science fiction weapons could serve purposes beyond killing, opening narrative possibilities that made the improbable premise of professional ghost removal feel grounded and believable. ZF-1. Villain Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg demonstrates his company's latest creation in 1997's The Fifth Element. The Zorg ZF-1 pod weapon system combines multiple weapon types into a single absurd package. Features include a titanium recharger, 3,000 round clip capacity, and a machine gun with a replay button that uses one shot as a lock-on point for guided bullets. The integrated arsenal also contains a rocket launcher, arrow launcher, net launcher, Zorg's personally favored flamethrower, and the all-new Ice Cube system that sprays liquid nitrogen. Armorer Simon Atherton built the firing props around 5.45mm by 39mm AKS-74U carbine. The weapon represents the ultimate more is better design philosophy, deliberately over-engineered for comedic effect within the film's satirical tone. This weapon became iconic through sheer audacity and commitment to excess. It perfectly satirizes arms dealer mentality and the obsession with multifunction tactical weapons, creating something simultaneously impressive and ridiculous. The absurd array of features, many barely demonstrated before the weapon backfires on its creator, makes it the joke weapon that became genuinely memorable. It works because it fully commits to celebrating impractical excess rather than attempting realism, proving that science fiction weapons can succeed through bold, unapologetic absurdity. Noisy Cricket. The smallest weapon often packs the biggest surprise. In 1997's Men in Black, Agent J receives the Noisy Cricket, a tiny pistol that appears completely harmless. Despite its diminutive size, the weapon fires powerful orbs of energy while producing a cricket-like chirping sound. The massive recoil sends unsuspecting users flying backward. The first time Jay fires it, the kickback hurls him into a wall. His second attempt launches him into a passing car's windshield. A suppressor can reduce the recoil, but this significantly diminishes the weapon's power. According to supplementary materials, MIB deliberately issues noisy crickets to rookies, with veteran agents even placing bets on how far the new recruit will fly after firing. This weapon became iconic by violating every expectation about weapon design. Tiny suggests weak, but the noisy cricket delivers catastrophic power while maintaining consequences. The physics-defying recoil creates inherently funny moments while treating the results seriously, with targets not merely falling but being launched through the air. It represents perfect comedy weapon design, where the joke stems from subverted expectations and remains funny through consistent application rather than one-time gags. The contrast between cute appearance and devastating effect made it instantly memorable. By the way, if you're into detailed breakdowns like this, I create content like this regularly. Subscribing would really help me out. Blade Runner Blaster. Detective Rick Deckard's sidearm in 1982's Blade Runner pioneered a new philosophy for science fiction firearms. The weapon, nicknamed the PKD by fans, was constructed from a Steyr Mannlicher 222 Model SL rifle receiver and a Charter Arms Bulldog 44 revolver. Side covers were added to conceal the Bulldog cylinder, while various bolt heads and screws created the illusion of controls and mechanisms. At least 6 LED lights were installed, though not all remained functional throughout production. Concept artist Sid Mead originally designed a black hole gun firing a black beam, but this was rejected as too fantastical. The final design represented the first realistic future firearm in major science fiction cinema, extrapolating from existing technology rather than inventing pure energy weapons. Only one original prop survived and was carefully recreated for the 2017 sequel, Blade Runner 2049. The blaster became iconic by proving future weapons could feel tangible and believable. By building from real firearms, it suggested gun technology would evolve incrementally rather than being completely replaced. This grounded approach opened doors for military science fiction and influenced decades of video game weapon design. The noir aesthetic of Blade Runner demanded tools that felt worn and authentic rather than pristine props, and this weapon delivered exactly that weathered, practical credibility. Plasma Caster. The Yautja hunter species in 1987's Predator employs the ultimate targeting weapon. The shoulder-mounted plasma caster fires superheated plasma bolts at targets with devastating effect. Worn on the shoulder with an articulating arm, the weapon tracks with the hunter's head movements through integration with the Predator's biomask targeting system. The cannon aims wherever the hunter looks, combining advanced technology with hunting skill. Before firing, it produces a distinctive triple laser targeting pattern that has become synonymous with imminent danger in the franchise. Different iterations across the film series have shown variations in design and capabilities, from single powerful blasts to sustained energy beams. The 35th anniversary of the original film in 2022 was celebrated with a licensed 1-to-1 scale replica from Hollywood Collectibles Group, demonstrating the weapon's enduring appeal among collectors. This weapon became iconic by perfectly embodying predatory philosophy. The shoulder mount keeps the hunter's hands free for close-quarters combat and trophy collection, while head-tracking aim demonstrates advanced technology that still requires skill and intent. The visible targeting lasers create tension in every scene by telegraphing violence before it occurs, a brilliant cinematic choice that builds anticipation. It represents the ideal weapon for a proud hunter species, combining overwhelming firepower with the requirement for personal prowess. Lawgiver. The judges of Mega City 1 carry authority in pistol form. The Lawgiver, featured prominently in 2012's Dredd, serves as standard equipment for the Justice Department's street judges. Manufactured by General Arms, this voice-activated machine pistol contains multiple ammunition types in a single weapon system. A DNA sensor embedded in the grip recognizes only the authorized user's palm print, with the weapon self-destructing violently if anyone else attempts to fire it. The prop was built around Glock 17 pistols housed in futuristic shells. A digital screen displays fire mode, ammunition count, range to target, and ID check status. Voice-activated firing modes include semi-automatic, rapid-fire, silenced, armor-piercing, incendiary, stun, hot shot that fires superheated rounds, and high explosive. The magazine holds 50 full metal jacket rounds as standard ammunition. When Criminal K attempts to use Judge Anderson's Lawgiver against her in the film, the security system blows off his arm, killing him. The earlier 1995 Judge Dredd version used a Beretta 92FS as its base, with a 25-round capacity. This weapon became iconic by embodying authority itself. A single gun handles any threat through ammunition selection alone, making each judge a walking arsenal. The DNA lock ensures power remains earned rather than taken, while voice activation allows instant threat level response. The brutal self-destruct feature guarantees it remains a symbol of law enforcement, rather than becoming a criminal tool. Identity Disc. The digital world of 1982's Tron gave programs both identity and weapon in one device. The Identity Disc serves as the most fundamental equipment for programs within the game grid. A glowing disc normally worn on the upper back that detaches for combat. Each disc contains everything a program is, recording every experience seen, heard, or encountered by its user. When energized for battle, the disc possesses a lethal cutting edge capable of derezzing or deleting an opponent instantly with a direct hit. Programs use it as a short-range blade weapon in close quarters, throw it like a discus at distant targets, or employ it as a buckler shield to block incoming attacks. Skilled users like Tron can curve the disc's path mid-flight to avoid obstacles and strike targets outside their direct line of sight, with expert throwers capable of causing sharp directional changes while airborne. The discs appear as uniform, circular planes of light, trailing comet-like effects as they fly. Beyond combat, discs carry data payloads, as demonstrated when Alan Bradley updates Tron's disc with code to defeat the Master Control program. Props were constructed from resin-coated cast-rigid foam with concentric ridges and a central bullseye design. This weapon became iconic through conceptual brilliance. Your weapon literally contains your existence, making combat deeply personal with the ultimate stakes. Losing your disc means losing yourself. The throwable design creates visually stunning combat sequences, while the data storage function adds narrative depth. It bridges ancient throne weapons with futuristic digital concepts, perfectly capturing the film's vision of programs as living entities within computer systems. Death Star. The Galactic Empire's ultimate weapon platform in 1977's A New Hope represents destructive capability scaled to planetary proportions. The Death Star is a moon-sized mobile battle station capable of destroying entire planets with a single shot from its super laser. The main weapon is powered by massive kyber crystals stolen by the Empire, firing by focusing 8 separate tributary beams into one devastating blast. The station demonstrated its power by destroying Alderaan, Princess Leia's homeworld, as a show of Imperial might. The weapon takes 24 hours to recharge between planetary-scale shots. Luke Skywalker destroyed the first Death Star with a proton torpedo fired into a thermal exhaust port. The second Death Star in 1983's Return of the Jedi was larger and more powerful but remained incomplete when the Rebel Alliance destroyed it. The weapon represents the Empire's philosophy of ruling through fear of overwhelming force, rather than actual application of that force. This weapon became iconic by taking destructive capability to its logical extreme. Every other weapon seems insignificant compared to something that erases entire worlds, yet it also demonstrates the futility of ultimate weapons. Something so powerful becomes a symbol and target rather than a practical tool. Both Death Stars were destroyed by small craft exploiting design flaws, proving that overwhelming power guarantees neither victory nor security. It remains science fiction's ultimate example of power corrupted into self-defeating excess. If you found this valuable, consider subscribing so you never miss new content. Thanks for watching.